So, update since last week for my PTSD, and since then I've been dealing with it. But I wanted to get back to the show I had mentioned I was watching when I was so rudely interrupted and accosted, um, which triggered all of that. LA's Finest. I mentioned it. It stars Gabrielle Union. It stars Jessica Alba. There's a few other people you've seen in passing. Um, Other actors you've seen from in passing. The gentleman who was married to Tisha Campbell, who played Gina and Martin, who they recently got divorced from, and this random white dude. And I knew he looked familiar, and he looked familiar because he was in The Purge too. Fun fact about me, I know a lot of like TV, pop culture, shows, series, a lot of random trivia and fun facts. Um, so I watched the show, I finished it. Proper opinion, I stand by it. It's not a good show. My original opinion still stands. And they try and sell you with the first episode, and it had one moment maybe where it could have been a little something, and the whole show came off like they were trying too hard, the entire show. And they wanted to be all inclusive. They talked about sexuality, and there's color, and then there's history, and you got to keep the storyline going. So there's some, it's called LA's Finest, but I think maybe I don't know if that's a joke or not, because they're like LA's worst on the show. I'm like, Gabrielle Union's like this shady cop anyway, and Jessica Alba's got her own like dark history, and they're sort of they weren't even really good police officers. Like, the whole show was mostly about their own background issues and barely any of them actually doing their jobs. I don't know how they kept dipping out of work to like do random tasks and miscellaneous things, and it just was not good, which sucks because I believe the director is Jerry Bruckheimer. I think that's his name. It's definitely the same director as the Bad Boys series, or 1 and 2. And those are the best ones. So it had so much promise. The recipe is exactly the same, and yet you fucked up the meal. Like, it just was bad. So watch it for yourself. It wasn't good. I finished it up. I watched the whole series finale, and there was some moments. It was predictable. They tried too hard. She couldn't cry convincingly, which was to watch. It just was like eye rolling and like cringe worthy, and it was just exhausting. I wasted so much of my life. I guess it was only 2 days, but still, every day counts. It was not good. You should watch it for yourself. I guess on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give it a 1.5. Sadly, it's not the worst thing I think I've ever seen, but it certainly wasn't good either. It wasn't even or mediocre. This video is already longer than I'd like it to be. The show was not good, to sum it up. I'll catch up with y'all later.